Hello and welcome back to Sonny Talks Spurs, and today I'm going to be answering the question, how did football fans get Tottenham so wrong this season? But before we get into this video, if you are new to the channel, why don't you leave a like, subscribe to Sonny Talks Spurs and hit that notification bell because it lets you know every time I've gone live. Now, let's get into the video. So there's a main reason why I wanted to do this video. Obviously, I keep saying Tottenham at present are top of the league ahead of the game against Chelsea, where they could actually go 17 points clear of the Blues. Yes, I know, embarrassing for them. But there was a moment after the Manchester derby, City versus United, where Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, Roy Keane, Micah Richards were all talking about the current state of Manchester United and referencing like the job Erik ten Hag's had to do and, you know, the animosity at the club. And in talking about this, Gary Neville mentioned, I think actually it was Jamie Carragher who mentioned the likes of how Unai Emery and Ange Postecoglou have come into Tottenham and Villa respectively and, you know, basically changed the whole way the club is being run and managed. And this, it annoys me, you can probably tell. Gary Neville responded by saying that Tottenham was a more stable environment. Are you having a laugh that Tottenham was a more stable environment than Manchester United? Don't get me wrong, Manchester United is a beast of its own. It's in its own realm when it comes to the problems at that club. You know, it's basically under a microscope. But Tottenham, let's go through the problems that were at Tottenham. Daniel Levy basically hated by a majority of the fan base. They wanted him out, hated that the ticket prices had increased. Our star player basically left on the cusp of the season, sold him to Bayern Munich, you know, in much annoyance to most of the fan base as well. We took ages to appoint a manager. We had a new, you know, director of football and, you know, the whole Paratici stuff as well. You know, we had Scott Munn come in. We've had, you know, Johan Lang, all sorts of, you know, just a mess after, you know, Conte had left the club in an absolute state of disarray. And he's comparing the two. And it's just like, well, it does just go to show you what sort of a job Ange Postecoglou has done at the club. So yeah, it sparked it from that, but it's mainly because as well, lots and lots and lots of people, including Tottenham fans, really undervalued what the side could achieve this year. I saw many people predicting as low as 10th, 9th and 8th without the goals that Harry Kane puts up. You know, obviously he scored 30 goals in the Premier League last season before his move to Bayern Munich in the summer. And it goes to show you that, you know, lots of people get these predictions wrong. And here's another case in point. I'm not saying that Tottenham are going to win a title this season. I am now confident they can finish in and around the top 4. But then even my prediction at the beginning of the season, I think I said about 6th or 5th. Can't recall off the top of my head. But even that's looking a bit like more. That was being like generous. I was thinking like maybe actually 7th. But yeah, it seems like we have actually shocked a lot of people with the changes we have made at the club. It seems like Daniel Levy has finally woken up and smelt the coffee and gone, right, I can't let the club go on like this. We need to make changes. He's brought Scott Munn in. Johan Lang's coming in. Paratici is being used in a very effective way as a consultant. And Ange Postecoglou is able to do what he can and change the squad in an attacking sense and bring Tottenham back to what the fans really want, an attacking team. No toxicity at the stadium at present as well. And it's just amazing to see. On and off the pitch, the vibe has changed completely. And it was just incredible because I feel like, you know, people were criticising certain points of Tottenham. They were like, your defence isn't going to be strong enough. We've got one of the meanest defence in the Premier League this season. We've got a goalkeeper who was criticised. Look how good he's been. 2 fullbacks who were criticised. And, you know, people said that they won't work in a 4 at the back system. 2 centre-backs, one who was an unknown entity and the other who people said was just not the world-class calibre that he was being touted as. Basuma, a flop after leaving Brighton. Sarr, too young. James Maddison, relegated Leicester City or something like that. Kulusevski, not as good as he was. Son, dried up, washed. Richarlison, jury's still out. But anyway, I just think it's really interesting to see how Tottenham, you know, going into this season, I wanted Tottenham to be a bit like under the radar and just, you know, get the job done and finish somewhere on the table. But now we're very much the front page, the back page, the main talking point this season. And I've said it recently to some people. When I launched this channel about 3 or 4 months ago, I thought I'd be doing a lot more negative videos, but I've launched at the right time for it to be a positive for being a Spurs fan, because we are on an upward trajectory and it's just amazing to see. Don't get me wrong, I'm not tooting the horn too much because I still think a lot needs to be done. We got to probably spend a bit more, sign a few more players, get a bit of depth. Injuries are an issue this season as well, which I'm dreading, and actually back Postecoglou. People saying Postecoglou was going to be sacked by Christmas. I mean, it's absolutely laughable. He probably could win his third consecutive Manager of the Month award, and a Tottenham player could easily win player. It's just good to see. And moving on now, I want to now talk about quotes that Arsene Wenger said this week. Obviously, the old enemy. He has been talking about Tottenham recently, and he said something along the lines of this. If I said after 10 games, they'd, Tottenham, be top of the league, you ask me, and it's not a tricky question, because I like always to say what I really feel. Deeply, I believe Tottenham will be one of the contenders for the league. They bought James Maddison, who is a great player. He is that link from low midfield to high midfield and added some technical creativity to the team. A lot of good praise from, one of the greatest managers in Premier League history. And it's just good to see, a lot of positivity from pundits alike. A lot of them, even Gary Neville said Tottenham aren't going to be in a title race. I don't think we're going to be in a title race. In the sense of, as the whole season goes on, I think we'll fall off. I can see us finishing, about fourth. I'm confident of fourth now. We've still got some tricky tests to come, Villa's, Brighton's, Manchester City's, even Chelsea. They're all going to be tough tests. And, 10 games in is very premature. But it's good foundation and groundwork by the club to put this Ange Postecoglou project on the map and be like, this is the new Tottenham and this is how we're going to do. We've still got to yet to see some certain players in certain games. We've only seen a small part of Brennan Johnson, for example. Players like Richarlison have still got a lot to prove. And it's just going to be good. Bentancur, a player who is yet to come back from injury. So, yeah, very interesting, I think, the Tottenham project at the moment. And I'm very confident in the direction it's going in. But, I'm not surprised so many people were writing Tottenham off. In hindsight, maybe it was a bit harsh when you look at the rest of the league stacked up. And people probably thought Manchester United would be a bit better, for example. But it's just interesting to see, and I'm just very positive about where this football club is going. But I'm sure there'll be some negative videos come soon when we're struggling during the Christmas period. But hopefully that doesn't come for a little while yet. But let me know in the comments down below. Where did you think Tottenham were going to finish at the beginning of the season? And be honest. And where do you think they're going to finish now? I'd love to know all your thoughts. Obviously, get in the comments. I'll be in the comments when this video goes live. And as I said at the top end of the video, if you are new to the channel, leave a like on the video. Subscribe to Sonny Talks Spurs and hit that notification bell because it lets you know when I've gone live. Stay tuned. Watch another video at the very end on the end screen. And I've been Sonny, and I'll see you pretty soon, and a ciao.